Hey guys, Redefined Programmer here. So you want to start programming, huh? Well, the first thing you're going to need, without a doubt, hands down, is an IDE. You don't necessarily need one, let me back up, but you are definitely going to want one. It's basically what it is, it's IDE stands for Integrative Development Environment. That's all it is. Think of it like Microsoft Word. So you don't have to type your essays in Microsoft Word. You could definitely do it in Notepad, although I probably would not recommend it. So you have IDEs, things like this, where you basically can write code that is better. And the way that it's better is that it tells you if you spelled something wrong, it tells you if it doesn't know what a variable is, yada, yada, yada. There's so many different kinds and there's so many different ones that you could use. So I'm not going to get into all of that because a lot of times too, when I get asked about IDEs, I absolutely 1000% never get asked about IDEs. The main thing is, which one do I use? What do I choose? To be honest with you, you can kind of use whichever one you feel comfortable with. For me, it's this one, Visual Studio Code. Microsoft makes it. It doesn't have to be that one though. Atom is another one that's very popular that's created. You have Notepad++, which is essentially Notepad with a few more features. And then you also get into the bigger ones. So these three that I just showed are sort of bare bones, very small, not real complicated controls, things like that. And then you have this one, also made by Microsoft, Visual Studio 2019 and Visual Studio Code, two different things, completely. Not completely, but Visual Studio 2019 has a lot more to it, as you can see here with this nice little GIF they have on their website. There's a lot more going on. See, I mean, I don't even know what half that stuff is. And also Visual Studio 2019 you would have to pay for, whereas Visual Studio Code, Atom, and Notepad++ are all free. Then there are also certain suites. So that's suite, S-U-I-T-E, not S-W-E-E-T. Suites of programs like JetBrains, for instance, makes a group. And they have kind of all of these, and you can sort of pay a flat rate per month, or you can pay a yearly fee and get access to all of them. That's the sort of idea with these. And these are also much more powerful in the sense of what they can do. However, most of the time, you can really get away with the free IDEs. Like I said, I use Visual Studio Code most of the time, and I'm actually going to show you all here in a second how to download it and kind of give you all just a quick tour of what every IDE kind of looks like, because they all look very, very similar. So if we go over here, we go to Visual Studio Code. This is the page when you come to it. It's pretty simple, and it says download for Windows. Click that bad boy. It's going to say thanks for downloading. 16 seconds. I probably won't cut this out of the vid. Downloads. Now you just click it, obviously, like you would anything else you're downloading, and it'll start the setup, basically install it to your computer. Like I said, it's no different than a program you open like Word or PowerPoint. It's going to be the same kind of concept. Accept that. I have no clue what it says. Just accept it. Then here, so with these options, I would recommend creating a desktop icon just so you have it on your desktop. You can see it, especially because most of the time you have one IDE and you kind of use that one a lot. I would recommend that. You kind of become good with it. You understand the different things about it that are cool. So create that. I would add this and this. I will show you what the open with code action is here in a minute. And then you can also register code as an editor. What that means simply is if you click I don't know, some programming file that you made, it will automatically try and open Visual Studio Code as opposed to something else. I think Notepad might be the default one. You don't want it opening in Notepad. It looks ugly. And don't worry about the path. That's complicated for right now. So go ahead and hit install. Give it a minute. I probably won't cut this from the video either. Okay, yeah, so I was really impatient. But anyways, now you see this. Go ahead and leave that checked because we want to go ahead and launch it. So this is it. This is what it looks like. This is kind of a welcome page here, so you can X out of that if you want. This gives you a general layout of Visual Studio Code, but most IDEs look very similar. On the left side over here, you will have your list of files, basically. And then on the right side, where you might have a file open, it will show. So for instance, if I hit new file here, make that whatever, now I have code here that I can type and work out. Now, no language has been selected, nothing is configured, nothing like that, because we just downloaded it. But eventually, depending on what language you have configured for it, if you do something wrong with the typing, or you misspell something, it will tell you. It'll let you know. And that's what's strong about these IDEs. They kind of let you know when you're messing up, basically. And like for someone like me, that's a lot. So that's really it. That's all there is to it. Now there's some things you can add to this. For instance, most IDEs have Visual Studio Code calls it extensions, but really it can be whatever. Think of these like add-ons. Like if you play video games, this would be like a DLC, except it's free. Or I don't know, an app that you can download to your phone. Similar idea. And as you can see, a lot of these are for different programming languages. Python's a language, Vue is a language right there, all of that. And just different things to help you even more. And that's kind of what I like about these lightweight ones, is they just allow you to kind of add so much to it. And we'll be going through a lot of that stuff, so don't feel overwhelmed right now. But the basic thing to remember is that there is no one set IDE for the most part. Now there are some IDEs that, remember IDE being this whole program here, that only work for one language. But all the ones that I just showed you, they kind of work for any one that you want to throw in there. So now what I'll show you real quick is the show and code feature that I promised not too long ago. If we go to development, okay, let's pull this up. This is my project folder here because I'm a nerd. So if you right click, you'll now see down here, if you checked what I told you to check, you'll see this open with code option. And so what you can do is, let's say I want to open my collects project. Go here, right click, open with code, and now I don't have to worry about trying to open that through here. It's already open. Everything's open. So if I open this code file, boom, code. And my folders are here, everything like that. So that command's real nice to have. But in conclusion, that's about it. IDEs are pretty simple at their base level, and just in general, don't feel pressure when picking one when you start out to pick the right one. If you pick one and you don't like it, let's say you pick Atom and you don't like it, try Visual Studio Code. If you don't like Visual Studio Code, try something else. I know I went through quite a few IDEs before I really realized and figured out which one fit me the best. And you'll get the swing of it. And the only other thing would be to pay attention that the IDE that you're downloading, it may only work for one language. The main language that you might be working with that could occur would be Python. But other than that, most IDEs work with everything. Visual Studio Code works with everything. Atom, all those ones I showed you, like I said. So that about wraps this up, but I appreciate you guys watching. If you could, leave a like, subscribe, you know the drill. If you have any feedback or anything that you'd like to see me do a video on next, please just feel free to hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks.